This episode has been brought to you by My Extraordinary Productions. Don't go at it alone. Let's work on your next film together. Click the link in the description to learn more. I had been creating my own short films for several years before I finally had a short film I felt was good enough to enter the festival circuit. And the reason I finally went over the edge is kind of a petty one. An acquaintance of mine had been posting about how he was so excited to finally have a film in a festival, and so then I took a look at his specific film and I said, wait, this got in? Really? And that's how I knew that I could get into a festival too. As shallow as that was, I'm sure one or two of you have watched my films and said, really? This got into a festival? If you're a filmmaker, at some point you may ask yourself the same question. Should I put my film in a film festival? So let's go over some of the pros first. Just getting into a film festival and not necessarily winning any prizes or anything, you get these laurels. People see that your film got into a festival and it's just a lot easier for them to decide to watch your film. These laurels also give you credibility as a filmmaker because you can make a film and have it on YouTube and say, I have a film on YouTube, or you can make a film, have it on YouTube, have it in the festival circuit and say, I have a film. It was in such and such festival and such festival. It's also on YouTube. So on top of building your audience and minimizing the risk of watching your film festivals can be an excuse to travel. I live in Los Angeles and we do have a fair amount of film festivals here, but we also have plenty of film festivals throughout the country, throughout the world even, and a lot of film festivals love having their filmmakers there to discuss their films. Once you actually get to the festival, people are generally really nice. Everyone is so supportive. The attitude tends to be like, even if I wouldn't ordinarily watch something like this, we both got in the same festival. We are equals. Or, hey, you put yourself out there. That is so cool and so brave of you. I wish I could do something as cool as that. Those tend to be the two main attitudes when you're at a film festival. Now, as awesome as all that is, it can be expensive to enter a film festival. I've seen film festivals charge $70 for a short film. And that's just, like, insane to me. But I'm sure a lot of that money goes to the marketing, to the space that it's in, to getting specific judges to look at the films. So I'm sure it's worth it. It's just, you do that enough times and it gets really expensive. Most festivals I've seen charge closer to $10 to about $30 to enter. And even though that's a lot cheaper, you enter $10 festivals and that's $100, you see how this cost adds up. There are also no guarantees. So just because you spent $30 on a festival submission doesn't mean you are in the festival. All it means is that you are being looked at. And if you are struggling financially, it may not currently make sense for you to just throw $30 at something that may not work. Ironically, it's also possible to get into one festival that costs $10 and not get into another festival that costs $15, or get into one festival that costs $30 but not get into the festival that was free, or whatever. It's not always a reflection of quality. It's usually a reflection of how much space they have, what theme the festival is going for. There's a lot going on. People tend to approach entering a film festival one of two ways. The first way, which is the way I tend to do it, is I have created this short film. What festivals can I get into? And this is great if you just want to create content and you don't really prioritize the festival circuit. You're just seeing what's available. The other way of approaching a festival is to say, I really want to get into the XYZ festival. What do I have to do to get in? And this is great if your writing really benefits from having structures in place and having specific marks you need to hit. And to be honest, if you can get your film into this festival, or if you can at least get it to qualify for entry into that festival, well, that festival is not the only one with its list of requirements. You can probably get your film to be looked at by several other festivals. Either way, you should ask yourself, do I want this project in a film festival before you start entering it? Because your project is going to be put next to 100 others, 1,000 others, and if yours looks really amateurish in comparison, it may be really embarrassing. Now let's pretend that everything has the same production value because everyone had the same camera crew, everyone had the same editing facility, so everything is at the same level of quality production. Then it becomes a matter of, are you meeting this festival's regulations? Let's use the narrative one first. A Christian-themed film festival that only wants romance stories is probably not going to want a comedy about eating disorders, like this one. Sometimes the requirement is more technical, like they only want a film that was released within the last 12 months, or this film cannot be available online. It can only be available in this film festival that's happening right now. I also encourage everyone to ask yourselves, what am I hoping to achieve with this film festival? Are you hoping for laurels, accolades, just something to do? There is no right or wrong answer, but having clarity really does help in the process of entering film festivals. So some of you know you want to enter a festival and you want to increase your odds of getting in. Well, the first thing you can do is have a really good film, which obviously you do. The second thing, though, is that you can have a film that really tackles some sort of societal issue, such as civil rights or the environment. Something that people really can get behind. One, some festivals really like this, but two, you can also get some government funding so that you're not paying for everything out of pocket. Another suggestion is to spend more on festivals. One, this could mean that a free festival just has a lot more competition than a $5 festival. And that $5 festival has more competition than a $10 festival. And the less competition you have, the more likely your film is to be seen. Also, those festivals that cost more might have accolades that are more significant to the general public. You're also just statistically more likely to get into a festival if you enter 100 versus only entering 10. Lastly, you can use a minority status to your advantage. Some film festivals really want stories about a certain group of people, and some film festivals really want that group of people featured in the cast or in the crew in very prominent positions. So if you happen to have that can be a benefit. That can get you into festivals you ordinarily wouldn't be able to get into, or get you into festivals that other people just can't get into. Some of these minority statuses may include women, Black, Indigenous, people of color, LGBTQ+. They could be regional, meaning the film takes place in a very specific area, or someone from the cast or crew is from that very specific area. Now, this one's a little weird to put under minority status, but your social network can also be a contributing factor. You can enter a festival because you're an alumnus of a specific college, or because one of the social groups you happen to be in, like Elks Club or whatever, happens to be putting on this festival. Now, let's say you entered a festival and you got in. Congratulations! Now what? Well, the first thing you can do is advertise the fact that you're in the festival. First, you should be bragging about it. It's an accomplishment. Second, it helps the festival. If they get a lot of people this year, they can have another one next year. Be sure to thank everyone involved for getting you into the festival. Make sure that if they ask for anything, like they ask for a film in a specific format, or they ask for posters or behind the scenes pictures or anything, give them anything that they ask for that helps promote your film. Then figure out whether or not you can attend a festival, and if you can, let the directors know. If you've decided you are going to the festival, be sure to figure out all of your travel arrangements, whether or not you can take time off of work, how much everything's going to cost, etc., that stuff. But I also really strongly recommend you come up with just a few comments just to have about your film, like funny stories from behind the scenes, or what really inspired you to create this story at this moment. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Follow me on social media. If you have a question, please leave a comment, and I will see you all next time.